Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics 365 MVP, and this is a Partner Talk today with Michelle from ITRAK 365. Michelle, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about ITRAK.
Thanks, Rick. So ITRAK 365 is a safety and compliance software that is built on Microsoft Dynamics that encompasses over 130 occupational health and safety and environment pieces. And it's basically like you have a toolbox that helps workers out in the field, and it assists them with their health and safety responsibilities as well as prevention of incidents.
And I'm very familiar with your product, so I've got to say that it's got great functionality, and it's really a standalone product for health and safety.
Absolutely. So ITRAK 365 is a standalone application that's built on the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Powerform, and the interface there's an interface that meets the executive in a downtown office, as well as the app out in the field for field workers. So the important thing about the app is that from an occupational health and safety requirement, that you need to be able to access your documents such as OH&S legislation, safety manuals, and safety data sheets, whether you're in a remote area or if you have the internet connection. So the cool thing with the ITRAK 365 app is that it has that capabilities, and it also has a very nice computer interface that if you're on a computer or an app, that it has functionalities of both.
So that was really impressive when I looked at your product the first time, that it had, a mobile app, it had a portal, and it had a desktop, right? So it kind of fit that whole health and safety, whether, you're on an oil rig, whether you're in a forest somewhere or, in a manufacturing site. It had the type of interfaces to deal with all kinds of users. Now, I understand that you're not a technical person, that your background is really health and safety.
Yes, so I have been doing safety for 10 years. I have done being a health and safety coach for oil and gas, agriculture, as well as doing logistics, transport, those type of industries. So I actually developed kind of a website safety platform. And as my clients' needs grew, I was just unable to meet what they needed. And that's when I found ITRAK 365. And being a safety consultant, ITRAK 365 is it just really helps the safety consultant save time. And instead of doing administrative work, we're actually like making a difference out in the field by leveraging the technology to save time and communicating basically real time to management if need be, if you're out in the field.
So, what's great about having someone like you involved with the project, you go in and you actually look at it from the health and safety side of things and say, okay, how do we configure this application running on, the world's most powerful platform, Dynamics 365, to really, fit the needs of that customer?
Yeah, and that's what one of the greatest features of 365, ITRAK 365, is that there's 130 specific controls that are OH&S related or environment related, such as a risk matrix, hazard assessments, corrective action processes that is very fine-tuned to what an OH&S professional, quality, or environmental person is looking for. And it just really makes our job out in the field or if you're in the office, it just really helps your day-to-day life and actually spend time on what really matters, not working on an Excel spreadsheet.
And, I know like yesterday you were doing a COVID session with some of your customers, and you have a big conference coming up at the end of the month. So why don't you talk a little bit about that COVID work and about what's going to be happening at your conference?
Sure. So now, as an OH&S professional, our ITRAK 365 team has developed 15 specific processes that are common use cases to assist the employers with the COVID pandemic. Some of these include doing a self-assessment for the workers to make sure that they are fit to come to work, as well as doing a passport or contact tracing when they are on the job site. We are also working with our safety community and developing and doing best practices with them to review what does returning to work look like? What are the hazard assessments? So yesterday we were doing a workshop and we were discussing, hey, when you go back to work and we're in a building downtown and we can only fit 2 people in an elevator, how's the emergency response plan going to work? Or is it safer for us to actually stay at home right now? So there's a process that each company is going through of, hey, should I be going back to work? Can I still work from home until things are back to normal? And is it economical? So it's a really good group of people that we use to leverage the technology as well as the OH&S backgrounds of professionals, that there might be different management systems between each one, but everyone has a good idea, or it might tweak your mind on how, or something that you can do in your own business.
So your customers, because they're on Dynamics Power Platform, using ITRAK, they can, configure the application fairly quickly to pivot to whatever the rule change is.
Absolutely. So if there's been these changes, we had the forms up. I made a couple COVID forms in a couple hours for some clients and got them out on their app. They wanted a couple changes. I tweaked the changes and I said, please sync. And they're like, oh, that was fast, right out in the field. So it is a great platform. And if you do need to change or tweak something, it's super easy from the administrative side. And then they can actually have it live in their hands right away.
So you've got your user conference coming up, and I guess your partner conference as well at the end of the month, which is, of course, a virtual event. So let's
Yeah.
talk about a little bit what's going to be happening at that conference.
So at our annual conference, we like to showcase all the new things that the developers are doing. We're always improving our ITRAK. There's client requests that come in and some pretty cool use case scenarios that have come from clients. So it's really cool to showcase all the new technology. And the other thing that we're doing is we also have roundtables with technical people, OH&S people, and we're also doing some interesting work with associations that may not be safety, but they are doing audits. And so with these audits, what is happening is with COVID, they're unable to go on site to do an audit. So what's happening is we are actually making an e-audit and then also making it a virtual audit by using Microsoft Teams, etc., to facilitate the virtual audit. So it's been some definitely interesting times with COVID. And so it's very interesting how ITRAK 365, if we didn't have that technology and software, it would be very difficult to be doing these e-audits and doing it remotely.
And when you think about it too, we're all heading back to work and we've all got the same set of problems. So at your conference, can somebody who doesn't use ITRAK yet come to the conference to learn more about it?
Oh, absolutely. It's open to all, and it's actually a good learning experience. And from an OH&S standpoint, you can also use it as personal development points for your CRSP or any sort of professional designation. We can provide points for continuing development and learning.
So if somebody uses Dynamics today, whether they use it for their Salesforce or their customer service, they can now deploy ITRAK on that instance and have a health and safety app up in probably a matter of hours.
Absolutely. The other cool thing is we are big on sharing is caring. So with our OH&S, we don't really consider our processes competitive. We try to share all of our best practices among all of our clients, so we can actually take processes from one client and put them over into another. So we kind of give them those options to really help them think that we're taking what their process is and making it way better.
This is these are difficult times, but kind of exciting times for ITRAK, because I think your application is really going to push to the forefront as this Dynamics user base is going back to work, and they're going to need applications to be able to support it. So Michelle, thank you very much for today. I look forward to speaking with you in the future more about ITRAK, and I look forward to attending your conference and sitting through a few of the workshops.
Well, thanks.
Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too.